Howdy folks, Justin here, and with the huge influx of new players we've had recently for Legends, I thought it was time to do another video where I talk about my favorite way to play this game, although I've definitely fallen in love with Chaos Arena and with the first Gauntlet mode we had, but that mode is Solo Arena. I'm going to draft a deck, I'm going to talk about some pointers that I think are essential to keep in mind, and talk a little bit about the decks that we face, and what some of the good strategies are for dealing with them. So we're going to start by paying our 150 gold, and we're going to hop on in.
Welcome to the arena, good
So we get to choose a class here. I have one win with Battle Mage left in order to complete this quest. Battle Mage, of course, not a class I play very often, so it might be a good time to get that done. We also have Scout and Sorcerer as options. One of the keys to a successful solo arena run is the ability to handle early aggressive decks. If you can't, you're going to get run over by some of the Crusader, Mono Red, Mono Green, and those are the real offenders, the really aggressive ones. And the Archer deck, but the AI Archer decks are a little bit different too. Some of these decks are capable of some pretty crazy things, especially given the random lane effects that you get with Chaos Arena. So you need to make sure that what you're picking is capable of removing that early stuff, or at least coming back in a really effective manner with cards like Arrow Storm and Pillaging Tribune life gain cards, or mass removal. So that said, one of my favorite colors in Solo Arena is yellow. Not one of my favorite colors in regular Arena, but we don't have access to that. We do have Sorcerer, which has a good deal of removal in blue, as well as some Drain and some Guards. So I'm kind of looking at that. We also have Scout, which you can build an aggressive Scout deck, which sort of, counters the aggressive decks that the AI has, but is not going to be as aggressive as them. But you also have a lot of walls, a lot of guard creatures in these colors. So I think I'm going to go Scout for this run. There are, of course, really grindy AI decks as well, but those can be won with any cards that you have in some good play. The aggressive decks need to be countered. These are all pretty bad. We're going to take Curse, hopefully use it to make some favorable trades, swing things in our favor. I'm not excited about that pick at all. Here, Dark Guardian is pretty premium guard creature. Dragontail Savior is a great creature as well, but Dark Guardian is going to be pretty essential to our plan of not dying really quickly, so I'm going to go ahead and take that. Should be able to get a 2-for-1 with that. Here, Wrothgar Artisan is actually one of my favorite cards in Solo and the regular Arena, but Daring Cutpurse is really tempting too. The whole best defense is a good offense strategy. Having a Daring Cutpurse elixired out on turn 1 gives you a 3/3 that is going to be tough for your opponent to deal with. Can trade favorably from there. Dragontail Savior, sort of the best of both of these worlds, so I'm tempted to take that. These are all very reasonable picks. I think in the interest of I think I'm going to go ahead and take the Daring Cutpurse simply because it has Prophecy, which might turn the tide in an aggressive matchup. Okay, here, Thievery is basically unplayable. I know it gains life, and I talked about that, but you don't want that. This is a pretty average card. Gristlehide Dreg is going to be amazing against decks, some of the slower decks the AI runs out that have multiple smaller guard creatures and stuff like that, drawing you multiple cards. So we're going to go ahead and take the Dreg. Here we have 3 very good cards. Finish off Sanctuary Pet, Stalking Shadowscale. Finish off one of the best removal spells you can have. Also, obviously, combos with Curse. But I think Sanctuary Pet is probably the pick here, although I would happily run all 3 of these cards. Stalking Shadowscale might be pretty reasonable too. I've not played a lot with that in Arena. But this is the ability of Sanctuary Pet to just lock down and kill, like the AI Battle Mage deck, for instance, can sometimes get creatures that are like 15/15, and this could deal with that. I'm going to take Sanctuary Pet. Not sure that's the right choice, but I like it. Here, Brotherhood Sanctuary is whatever. You could build around it if you wanted to, but I'm trying to pick individually powerful cards. Pleated Kinnereth can swing games, but it's not ideal. Little Girl is that cheap drain creature we were talking about. Definitely what we want. Here, Giant Bat's tempting. Lurking Crocodile is tempting. Brotherhood Slayer is interesting. These are all pretty evenly powered cards. Given what we have so far, we already have 2 3-drops. Lurking Crocodile is the least exciting of these 3 cards, though. You do want to have a fair number of 2-drops in order to beat these slower decks. I'm really tempted by Brotherhood Slayer, just the solidest, most solid stats. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that. This is another one where I would pick all three in a heartbeat in other situations. Midnight Sweep, Great Prophecy card, guard creatures. Haunting Spirit, very, very overstated card. Murkwater Witch, also fantastic. That's tough. I think Haunting Spirit is the pick. My curve is starting to look a little weak, though. Leaf Lurker, Snap Pick Leaf Lurker. Disciple of Namira can get some pretty good value if you play with it right. Smuggler's Hall is RNG, who knows? Could be amazing, could be terrible. Leaf Lurker is always good. Okay, Skoomer Racketeer turns all of your creatures into removal spells, which is really nice. Mummify is not bad against some of these decks. I'm going to take the Racketeer, though. Here I'm going to take the Reaper. We don't have any big stuff yet. Reaper is a pretty good card for swinging the board in your favor. I'll take another Reaper, but I'm done with reaping. Okay, so it's between Venom Tongue and Viper. Viper is pretty premium removal card. Venom Tongue can usually 2 for 1. If I take Venom Tongue, I'm committing to what exactly? I think I like Venom Tongue more than Viper. I just need to make sure I get enough early game that I don't get run over. I know the Dark Guardian's pretty good. Obviously, 3-drop's a little disappointing. Here, it's Enraged Mudcrab or Mournhold Guardian or Green Higher Knight. None of these are really exciting. I'm going to take the Guardian because it has Guard, although Enraged Mudcrab is obviously funnier. Here, the 2-drop we wanted, Dragontail Savior. Old Gate Warden's not really playable. Stone-Tooth Scrapper's nice statted cards. We'll take that. We'll definitely take another little girl. And Fighters Guild Recruit's exactly the kind of card we were looking for. Here, we're not looking like we're going to trigger Stalwart Ally a whole lot. Hellstorm Footpad's not terrible given what we have already. Frantis Courier is really good. I'm actually going to take the Footpad just to pad out my 2-drop numbers. And here we go. I mean, a 3rd Reaper or a Swamp Leviathan. I think we'll take a Swamp Leviathan this time. Wrath of Sithis is really the only playable card here. Hardened Defenders is a lot better than it looks, so I'm going to take that card. Green Pack Stalker's not terrible. Now we do have a bunch of guard creatures, right? I mean, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 guard creatures. Is that enough to run Watch Commander? I'm going to try it out. I've never actually drafted that card. Here, another little girl or young mammoth. We have a bunch of 3s. I'm going to take the little girl. 3 little girls in this deck. Hopefully, Chris Hansen's not watching. In this case, take Lurking Mummy just for Prophecy and Guard Synergy. His Speaker is totally reasonable given a plethora of top-end cards. Dune Stalker's pretty good. Just trying to fill out my curve here. And Falkreath Defiler can be a lot of fun, so we're going to take that. This deck's not great. Doesn't have any real bombs. But so the first thing I like to do is take out warrior decks because I find them to be the easiest to beat. And by the way, I'm at rank 1, so your mileage may vary, but this can be really challenging. And I find warrior decks to usually be the easiest to beat. They're usually pretty mid-range if they're not orcs. And I tend to find them to be a good way to feel out your deck and get familiar with how you're going to play your matches. So, we'll keep any 2-drop. No elixir, no Ring of Magica, which is a little sad. His Speaker's pretty good though. So we can his Speaker and then Reaper it, stalk it out of the way.
Together, orcs.
I think he takes this trade 100% of the time. So actually, I'm going to do this. Try to save this. This is doing its job. Just trading.
Nothing will hold me back.
Taste of my power.
Sure. And then I can oppose this with Haunting Spirit, which is pretty nice. And then next turn,
You won't even see me.
I will have the choice to his Speaker Dunestalker or Falkreath Defiler.
Strength
A little bit of a bummer. Did get a prophecy though, and it's the perfect prophecy. Exactly why we picked this card, is to handle this early aggression. Now we do have another option here, which is Little Girl. Getting Little Girl online could just win us the game, right? Yeah, I'm into that.
Please help me.
Chaos
I'm gonna do
take
that.
you.
Not a lot of removal in these colors. Wood Orc Headhunters. Gonna be fine.
This is our forest.
We could shift this over and swing into it. Not real excited about that. Maybe we just start racing, right? We could even Dune Stalker this over to swing into this. Make this an 8/8. Hopefully. I mean, like, it could get put on here. And then in 2 turns, kill that with the Reaper. We Dune Stalk it over, and we also play... He'll definitely kill the Defiler. He probably won't kill the Brotherhood of Slayer. No, let's be responsible here.
People are so trusting.
Just give me a name.
I draw power from these trees.
Okay, so if he trades in here, we can Reaper it down.
Score.
If he doesn't,
We
turn
must
that swing.
protect the Night Mother.
We got a Garnet, man. So we'll get some great value here.
People are
and
so
swing.
trusting.
In case we get to throw the Reaper down on another creature.
Dry
There
skin
are, of course,
fool.
4 ones with Prophecy in this deck. And there we go. That's pretty great. Pretty great.
The longer the odds,
Dragon
the
Tail
sweeter.
Savior, sure thing.
No one gets through.
Okay, we're still
Who's
at
causing
30.
trouble?
Stone Tooth Scrapper, so we can kill him. There's Curse.
People are so trusting.
Gain our life first, get the Prophecy. We can lane change any of
Close
these out of
ranks.
here. if
Let
it's a guard.
nothing through.
Let's swing. So now we have him dead all sorts of ways.
Dry skin fool.
Your coin.
For style points,
or
we
your
will kill
life.
him with a Hiss Speaker. I'm gonna say if I didn't shift him over.
Dry skin
Okay,
fool.
so there you go. That was a good way to see, get a feel for what this deck does, how it's capable of playing. We pivoted from just dropping our creatures and planning on them dying pretty quickly,
Choose
thanks to the
your
little girl.
reward.
I think that worked out pretty well. Another Leaf Lurker seems pretty good, so we'll go ahead and take that. Beef up our removal and marginally increase the value of our Curse. Okay, we're going to keep going and see how far we can get with this run. Okay, so for our second match, we got the Orc deck out of the way, we got the Warrior deck out of the way, which was my first target. I like to nail down mid-range decks or aggressive decks first, because if you lose your first loss to an aggressive deck, then you know that you should try to farm the slower decks that you're more capable of beating for cards that'll help you in the aggro matchup. So it's not a bad idea to go for one of these Crusaders or Battle Mage. The Monk decks in Solo Arena can be either hyper aggressive Pilfer decks or life gain decks that go long, so it's kind of hard to say. Scout's pretty much always control. Mage is mid-range or control. Sorcerer can be aggressive, but not super aggressive. And it looks like our final boss is a mage, I believe that icon is. Although it might be a Breton, it might be a sorcerer, but I think it's a mage. Anyway, we're going to try out the Battle Mage deck, because this is the
These
one that's
warriors
very...
want nothing more
Well,
than to
there's a
please
random
you.
one. It's not it. This is the
With
Smith. This is an items-based deck. It's very idiosyncratic in the types of moves it makes and the cards you can expect from it. I don't even know if it runs Lightning Bolt. It
Extra
probably
power
does. But...
for
Okay, so we
everyone.
start with Extra Magicka, which is great for us, probably not really relevant for him. At the end of an opponent's turn, a random creature switches lanes. So, need to keep that in mind. We'll keep the Guardian, and we'll keep the Dark Guardian. Full of Guardians.
By dawn and dusk, I
And
move
yeah,
as a
turn 1
shadow.
Dark Guardian seems great against this deck. I actually prefer this
You won't
so that I
escape
am
alive.
guaranteed to stop him from doing
At your
damage.
service.
You really you need to clear off all of their creatures or have an ability to remove one massive equipment-laden creature. So that's not ideal.
sting.
Hopefully these guys meet up somewhere and we can take care of it that way. But yeah, we will just cool. Dark Guardian.
Die,
Trade.
Swit.
Now, did that come from Plunder? It did not. So he still has 2 random abilities. Of course Sir
I
shit.
feel a storm coming.
This guy should be able to clean up several creatures. And yeah, we'll just
The longer
do
the
this.
odds, sweeter the treat.
So we're off to a pretty good start here.
Into the fray.
We had Battle Mage is going to be massive. So this is when our Skooma Racketeer comes into play. He just loads it up with equipment. Whatever, or Sanctuary Pet. And this is probably the one we want to have killed the most. So let's just kill it.
Offers something tasty.
Too late for you.
And see how these lethal creatures really make the game against this deck.
Ruptga guides my hand.
Whirling Duelist. So if he has 2 equipments he can put on it, our Sanctuary Pet's not going to be able to deal with this, unfortunately. Maybe we just start racing, right? I've never really seen a lot of prophecies with this deck. And if he does land, we're going to draw a card. So let's just Swamp Leviathan. Let's do it over there. And, wow. Okay. So he's going to get a kill on this thing. There's 2 more equipments out of his hand. That was created by Plunder.
By my father's hand.
Now we're going to Sanctuary Pet. Hopefully he doesn't have 2 more equipments.
Khajiit has had enough.
Customers only.
Let's see if we can draw a card with our friend here. And yeah, we'll lock it down, dump my hand, and try to end this game. More plundering. So it's very likely that this creature is dead at least. And this is how you lose, right? He just swings for 20 with a massive creature. Does he not have...
I ride like the wind.
He doesn't. Not playing ideally, so that is what it is. That is brutal, though, isn't it? We don't quite have lethal. Well, we might be able to swing lethal.
Had enough.
Like I said, I've never seen a prophecy card in this deck. It looks like he's not going to hit one. We're going to play the little girl for style points and then take the game. And that went much more smoothly. I mean, like, taking no face damage, we locked down that deck. And part of that is because we so focused our draft on beating that sort of deck.
Which will the challenger pick?
Here we're going to get another card to add to our deck. Goblin Skull can pull out our Curse, which is not unreasonable. U-Shield is a super defensive card. We do have 2 Crusader lists to face. Not unreasonable. Elixir of Conflict is not what I want to be doing. Huh, Goblin Skulking out our Curse and another 2-drop. I think it's better than U-Shield, right? So, yeah, let's take the Goblin Skulk. We got some synergy in our deck. Alright. Alright, so let's pick out our 3rd opponent for our rank 1 solo arena run with Scout, relying heavily on our 3 little girls. We also have 2 Leaf Lurkers, 2 Charos Reapers, 2 Dark Guardians. Nice defensive deck. So far we have defeated Battle Mage and Warrior. And our deck seemed in the Battle Mage deck to be pretty good against aggressive strategies. We're going to put that to the test by facing down one of these Crusader lists.
Let the carnage commence!
Delta the Charge or the Prophet. This guy's deck is full of, so not surprisingly, creatures with charge. Okay, let's
Our challenger has
okay, so I get to start off with a little guard creature. We have Goblin Skull for that insane curse synergy, which we desperately need to not draw on our first
I have
draw.
no fear of you, cowardly
Because we can use
schemer.
that curse and just snipe this thing, which would be amazing, right? Worth pointing out, the Delta the Charger deck actually killed me on turn 2 one time. Because he had a lane, he got to start the game with a creature in play, and the lane effect let creatures that are played there attack twice. So, that was really exciting. Yeah, awesome. We didn't draw a curse, so we're going to go grab it. So glad I picked this up last game. So now we can Guardian, Footpad, and Curse. I'm cursing this, and then I'm going to make sure that we get this thing killed.
At your
And I don't see, we have no equipment in our deck, so I don't see any reason to play makeshift defenses until it really
I'm ready
would
for
benefit us
anything.
somehow. I guess that would be a reason to play it, huh?
Trolls take you there.
So we did lose our skulk there, but he did some good work. He was a good skulk. We are just going to play a little bit.
Can you please
And
help
obviously,
won't even
we're
see
not
me.
putting him over there because deck full of charge creatures. Exactly. That's fine. We're going to take some damage here. It's almost possible. Although, is that even good? I kind of like that more. I'll take the 4. We'll draw a card. There we go.
Just
That
give me a
is the
name.
prophecy card I was looking for. Obviously, drafting prophecies is pretty clutch against these hyper-aggressive AI decks. So we swing.
It's nothing personal.
Do we need a completed contract? I think we
You
do.
won't even see me.
We swing.
People are so
It's
trusting.
nothing personal.
People are so trusting.
And then make best use of our magic.
Who's causing trouble?
Because we want something that will contest what he presumably will put down over here. 2/4 creature.
They will not get past this. Should be good.
And again, these little girls just carrying us. Okay,
Bollock, guide me.
trades first. Let's
People are
remember how to play
so
this game.
trusting.
Been swinging and playing cards in the incorrect order a lot recently, so let's.
It's nothing personal.
Okay,
No longer
that
the
down over
odds.
there, and that down over there. Let's protect our team from chargers over there.
Come and warm yourself.
An outpost. Stone throw. Not big enough to kill this. Fiery imp. Okay, so we should have this locked down. Let's swing
People are
face for
so
5 and
trusting.
rain. Let's get a contract.
It's nothing personal.
Play out our hand because it's cool.
They make it too easy.
Kill. Awesome. Dealt to the charger. Annihilated. That was a quick game. And they're going to be quick. Now, we haven't gotten into the slower decks or the mid-range decks yet.
Who will join our challenger?
Okay, what do we have here? Wild Beast Caller's a lot of value. Murkwater Skirmisher, we have a Goblin. And Gravesinger. Never actually played this card. I don't think a 10-drop's what we want to do, although we haven't played the slower decks yet, and maybe Gravesinger's great there. You know, bringing back any of these would be pretty nice. Even Little Girl is a 4-drop. That's tough, because I think Wild Beast Caller is a very reasonable pick. We don't really have any 6-drop action. All we have is Wrath of Sithis. I'm going to take Wild Beast Caller, but also because Wild Beast Caller functions similarly in control matchups, where you're getting multiple bodies, you're effectively gaining card advantage. But that's an interesting choice, so I'm going to take Wild Beast Caller.